Your Daily 180, 180 seconds of pure Bible study.
Welcome to this Your Daily 180 Bible study. Thank you very much for participating in this study. We're in the midst of a study on the book of Hosea. Hosea was told by God to marry a woman of harlotry. That's hard to comprehend, isn't it? But that was going to be an object lesson about God's love for His people. And one of the things that God wants to get across to His people is, you're betrothed to me. You are to be pure because you are my one bride. Now that's an amazing thing when we think about that. In 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse number 2, Paul would write to the Corinthians, "For I have betrothed you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Christ." Now this is rather interesting when we think about this. This terminology is very common in the New Testament, that the church which belongs to Jesus, is the bride of Christ. Isn't that exciting? Stop and think about this over in Ephesians chapter 5. There we find out some things about what's proper in the husband and wife relationship. The chapter begins by talking about the fact that we're to be imitators of God. We're to walk as dear children of God. There are certain things that should not even be named in our life. He talks about fornication and uncleanness. Those things shouldn't even be named in the life of a child of God. And then as we go down into the chapter, he begins talking about the husband-wife relationship. Wives are to submit to their husbands, even as the church submits to Christ. And then he talks about husbands. Husbands, love your wives. How is a husband to love his wife? Now listen to verse number 25. And I want you to get the emphasis right now on Christ and the church. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ also loved the church and gave himself for her, that he might sanctify and cleanse her with the washing of water by the word, that he might present her to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that she should be holy and without blemish. How many brides does Christ have? Just one bride. Matthew chapter 16, verse number 18, he would say to Peter, upon this rock, the bedrock truth of his deity, upon this rock I will build my church, the church which belongs to Jesus Christ. And he says, you belong to me. I don't want you out there with other gods and other sources. I want you to be loyal to me. Do we understand that? As we get into the book of Hosea, you'll see that God is a jealous God. He desires our loyalty. Join us again tomorrow.